Are you guys ready to rumble? Website Smackdown #1. Hey everybody, it's PL Larson with Fingerprint Marketing. I'm trying something new today. So what this is we're going to take a look at a website that a cohort of mine has, and he wanted me to take a look and do kind of an audit. And I figured audits are kind of boring, so let's do a Smackdown. So here's how it's going to go. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process of how I look at a website that a potential client will bring to me and say, hey, can you give me a couple of tips on how I can tweak it to make some big changes? Now, let's get real. Your website is never done, right? Am I right? Give me some hearts and thumbs up if you agree. So I just launched my website 6 weeks ago, and I already want to change it, okay? And that's not a bad thing. It just means that you're keeping it, it's a living, breathing thing, right? It's your 24/7 salesperson. So what we're going to do is I'm going to look at a whole bunch of stuff, and this is not going to be like, hey, you're so stupid, why'd you do this? I totally want to make this a positive experience, because there's so many different ways to approach how you present yourself online. There's some basics that are the best practices, and then there's just kind of your style and your voice and how you come across. So what I'm looking for is, I'm actually looking for what you're doing well, and also kind of what you're missing, like opportunities, because I've done this for 25 years and I kind of know what I'm doing. So I just want to be helpful. And hey, if you guys want me to do a Smackdown on your website and give you some free tips and hacks and how to, convert more clients, just put your website URL in the comments below, and I'd be happy to. I know Karen Rosenswag is going to have me look at her website, and I'm truly honored because she's kind of my idol. I love her. She's with One Smart Cookie Marketing, and love that name, Karen. Anyway, so as I go through this, if you guys have any questions, because I'll bring some stuff up that you might not be aware of, or you have questions about, further questions, let me know. Give me some hearts and likes, and please share this video. Okay, so shall we get started? Let's smack down. I'm going to share my screen, and let me know if you can see the screen here. I'm just going to move over to first time sharing my screen, you guys. This is kind of exciting. I didn't even know Be Live could do this. This is amazing. So exciting. Okay, so today we're going to look at acute injury care. Pete Connolly, he is in my BNI group, and lovely person. I haven't met one-on-one with him as far as like what he actually does. So this will be interesting because I'm coming to his website totally new, like I've never seen it before. So fresh eyes, right? So that's one of the things that I always tell potential clients. I'm like, have you shown this to friends and family or past clients? And what have been the feedback? What's been the feedback from them? So you guys, I'm going to try and check the comments out over here, and then if you have any questions, let me know. So let's get started. So the very first thing I always do is I'm going to check to see if this website is mobile friendly. Okay. Now, if you haven't heard my past videos or articles before, you know that I drill this in a lot. So basically the bottom line is, if your site is not mobile friendly, meaning it doesn't pass the mobile friendly test by Google, then you're essentially invisible on search results, okay? And the reason is because about 70 to 80% of new patients or clients are coming to your website on their phone. And if their experience with your website on their phone is not awesome, they're going to bounce. They're going to go to your competitor. They're going to go to someone else. So that's number one. Number two is Google wants to satisfy these people who are searching for what you have. And if they aren't having a good experience, they're not going to serve you up in the search results for what you do. They're going to put you on page 2 and 3, which in my book is basically you're invisible. Okay, so that's why it's really important. So here's a tip, you guys. You don't have to redesign your whole site to become mobile friendly, so don't freak out. We have tons of people coming to us that are, for a third of the price, they can get their site fixed, or their webmaster can help them tweak it so they pass the mobile friendly test. All right, enough of that. So we're going to test it. what I do is basically just Google mobile friendly test. And this is the Google test, and you put the URL in here, and we're going to run the test. Now, I already know it's not going to pass. Hopefully it doesn't surprise me, because this is why he came to me to talk to him about getting it mobile friendly. It takes a little bit. I'm going to show you actually 2 ways to do this, but this is the official way. Let's see here. So, yep, just as I expected, page is not mobile friendly, okay? Now, you can see it's not mobile friendly. Now, what does it mean to be mobile friendly? So if this was your phone, you would have to, move to the left, to the right. You can't really see the text. You probably can't click on a phone number down here. If you could, it would hover over a link. So that's not good either. So there's just a couple of rules. Don't worry about, text is too small, content wider than the screen. These variables will be different depending on, the website. Anyway, so the bottom line is it doesn't pass the mobile friendly test. Okay, another way that you can test, and this is kind of for people who are into this kind of stuff, what I did there was I right-clicked with my mouse. I went down to inspect, and then I went up here. See this little button up here? This is the device toolbar. I click on that, and it toggles back and forth. So what this is helpful for is if you do some tweaking, or like if you're just changing something up, you can actually toggle and see this is desktop, this is tablet, and mobile. So you can kind of toggle back. So I thought that was cool. Maybe I'm just the nerdy geek. Anyway, so I just want to make sure we are still live. Okay, no questions so far. Anyway, so moving on. So that's the first thing I check. So they did not pass. The second thing I check is with a tool called Pingdom, tools.pingdom.com. And what this will do is test the speed of the site, meaning how fast does this site load? And we'll see here. Hang on, running test. I'll take a sip of my coffee. Well, this is awesome. He got a B, which is awesome. I mean, it's really hard to get an A grade. So that means that he's got a really speedy site. His site loads under 2 seconds, which is amazing. It's faster than 83% of tested sites. I don't know if that's like today or the whole week or whatever. Super small page size. This is great. The only thing, let's see, browser cache. This is, something that his webmaster could probably fix. But overall, I mean, he's killing it. Like with one tweak, he could probably get that to be an A. So good job, Pete. Okay, so let's go over here, and I'm going to look at my little agenda. I think BeLive has an agenda, and it's super cool. So calls to action. So 8 seconds to capture my attention when I first come to your website. If I don't find out what you do and why I should care within 8 seconds, 4 seconds on mobile, I'm going to bounce. I'm going to go to your competitor. I'm going to continue looking for, what I was searching for. So calls to action. The way that there's three ways that we do business online, right? We either sell products, okay, either courses or physical products, or we offer free consultations with our sales team or with us, or so you schedule a free consult or pick up the phone. What's the third one? Oh my God. Oh, you get on my email list. So maybe it's a big purchase or an expensive high ticket item. So then you'd want to get people on your emailing list, so you can market to them and eventually they'll become clients. Okay. So those are the 3 ways. So I typically say, hey, how do you make your money? What's the fastest way that you can close a new patient or get them on board with what you're serving them? And I'm going to guess here that Pete's call to action is to call him or schedule an appointment. Okay, so he has scheduled an appointment here. So what I'm going to suggest to Pete is that he changes the color of this and it stands out. I want to see this immediately, because if I'm searching, he does massage therapy, by the way, and I'm going to want him to put that in a different color so it stands out. I also think I might suggest having it up here so it's really obvious. Schedule an appointment. And then if they just want to chat with him, and get to know him, his phone number is down here, and it's not, you can't click it to open Skype or on your mobile. I already tested that and it doesn't work. So I would tell him to put his phone number up here too. So that's super simple, right? So if you had a business that had a high ticket item that you wanted to nurture potential clients and eventually get them to buy your product, you'd want to get them on an email list, which is something completely different. I'll go into that with another Smackdown. But for this particular website, I'm guessing that he makes his money by either getting people on a call, talking to them about their injuries and how he can help with massage therapy, or just schedule an appointment. Maybe they've already been referred to him and they can schedule an appointment. Okay. Next on my list, let's see, and these are not in order. I try to make them in order, but they're not. So the next one is navigation. So let's check out the navigation. You guys, people try to do fancy stuff with navigation. Just don't do it. Okay. It needs the navigation. Just don't change it. Meaning, don't use fancy, cute little words. Don't say stuff like how it works, what works, right? Because you're making people think. They're very impatient. They don't want to have to think, right? So if you pull this out, about typically will live right next to the home. Okay. Sometimes I will recommend that either services or, whatever you're selling goes after the home page. You don't necessarily have to have home here. I mean, because a lot of people know now that if you click on your logo, that they'll get to the home page. But I think in his case, having the home here is fine because this is not clickable. Got it? Okay, you guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Also, if you're looking at this in the recording later on, please leave your questions and I'd come back and answer them. Good coffee. All right, so schedule an appointment. So I'm going to look at about. So let's see here, about AIC. Okay, so let's go to that page first. And it's taking just a second to load. I'm not sure why. Hopefully my internet is not slow because this is not his website that's loading slow. I can tell you that. Okay, so about AIC, walls of text. So would you guys read this? I don't think anyone would read this, except for maybe Pete's mom. Totally kidding. Love Pete, just giving him a hard time. So I also noticed that this picture stays the same on every page on his website. So, and it doesn't serve a purpose. I mean, it looks lovely and I would love to be there right now, but I don't think it serves a purpose. So I'd get rid of this guy or put maybe Pete's headshot right here would be great, but not on every page. Okay, so I would start out by asking people, are you suffering from yada yada? Have you considered working with craniosacral massage? So the about page is really important to, it's not about you, it's about who you're serving and solving a problem. So the first paragraph needs to talk to his potential patients. It needs to identify their problems immediately. And you can do that bullet point. You can ask some questions. You can have some bolded text here that talks about the main conditions that he takes care of. So this is not something that I'd be interested in. I just want to know if he can help me with my acute injury. So that's what I would suggest. I might suggest adding some images in here, not just because, but to support what I'm saying. So I haven't really read through everything, but he talks about a technique from Europe that helps with after trauma and surgery. And it's really interesting, but maybe some information, like maybe some statistics would be great, an image of statistics, or even just, like an infographic, a small infographic, or even a GIF, that shows A to B, or so it's something that's interactive. This right here can be put in the footer. This is taking up way too much real estate. It's great to have badges and trust badges like this, but I would recommend that you put it in the footer. This can go away because this is called secondary navigation, so it's not necessary because that's basically headlines, add some bullets, speak to your audience immediately, and then you can talk about yourself down here. Now, I'm not sure if Pete has more practitioners in his practice. I think it's just him. I could be wrong. So if that's the case, I don't even think this is necessary about AIC. If he's a sole practitioner, we just want to know about who we're working with. So I know that he has his bio down here. So I would lead with this, not necessarily about him, but about why he's an expert at what he does and how he can help you. Does that make sense? Okay, so moving on, under about, he has continuing education classes. Now, I know nothing about whether he does a lot of business with this. It sounds like it's another service to a completely different audience. So now he's talking about teaching other practitioners what he does, which is great, but it's a completely different target, and it kind of doesn't belong in here. I'm thinking most people know the abbreviation of CE classes for continuing education. So I might recommend that he adds it in the navigation. This about should just be for acute injury patients. That's my opinion. Individual sessions. Okay, let's take a look at that. You guys have any questions? Let me know. Okay, individual sessions. So this is pretty straightforward. Again, get rid of the sidebar. All this is wasted space. What to expect, location, session rates, forms. There's a lot going on here. A lot. So it's all good. But I would remove this area and just give it more breathing room. Individual sessions. Okay. So we've moved this. Now I'm not sure how craniosacral massage is different than individual sessions. It doesn't make sense to me because I'm assuming that this is what happens in the individual sessions. So perhaps you could say what to expect, right? Or something. That's just off the cuff. This looks like your main service, and then you've got your bio, and then this is interesting. You're recommending this product, but I don't think this has, I mean, I know you're recommending it. I don't see that you're selling it. So I don't believe that it belongs under the about. Okay, so I would get rid of that. And then the other thing I noticed, if you click on this link, oh no, oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was different. So moving on to testimonials. Quick tip, you don't need a page of testimonials. It does not work. People will not read a page of testimonials. That is very 90s, and it does not convert people or patients into your clients, okay? What you could do instead is take these three, and I'm guessing that you have more than these now because you said this is a little old, and scatter them throughout. So what I recommend is taking a specific testimonial about a specific service that you're offering, and put it on that page. So for instance, if you have a page that talks about cranial sacral massage, and you have a testimonial of someone who you've given that service to, match those two together. Then you have another service that's maybe after surgery care, right? You talked about that. Have a testimonial specific to that. You guys get the idea? So then you've got testimonials on every page. That's how you want to do testimonials. Even better, add their photo. It might be a little different here because of the HIPAA laws and using people's names and headshots. So for this particular website, maybe not, but for others, I would consider putting a headshot with their permission, of course, and their first name or last name. And it just gives it more credibility because we trust faces more than we do just words. Okay, so that's testimonials. Oh, and even better yet, video testimonials. Okay. And those don't have to be a professional, huge production. You can just do basic, basic videos on your phone. Okay. Schedule an appointment. We already talked about that. But one thing I want to say about schedule an appointment is that you don't want people to take more steps than they need to. Think about the shortest route from where you start to where you want your patients to go. Okay. What I mean by that is if I'm ready to schedule an appointment, I don't want to have to click it twice because the conversion rate will go down 40%. I know. It's crazy. Well, they want to schedule an appointment. Why wouldn't they click on the second button? Trust me, tests have been done. They've done conversion tests on this. They don't want to click again. Or maybe they get distracted and they forget and then you don't come back. So what you want to do, here's what I would do, is, again, you've got this blank space over here so you can stretch this out. Have a, instead of taking them to a page like this, take them directly to your schedule, okay, which is here, which I'll come back to because I'm not crazy about it either. So if they click this button, it'll take them to your scheduler. And even better, if the scheduler that you use allows you to embed the schedule where they can actually stay on your website and schedule the appointment, that's even better. Because the longer someone stays on your website, how do I explain this? Google sees that, the time spent on your website, and they will reward you with that with higher rankings. So you don't want to take them away from your website. So if you have a scheduling tool that will allow you to embed the whole process, that's even better. Okay. But at minimum, I would have this link directly to the scheduler. So now I'm going to go over to the scheduler. Okay. I don't know what this, let's look at it. Let's see what it looks like on a phone. Okay. This is the scheduler. Well, there's nothing about scheduling here. It's just about services, hours, payment. Okay, I'm really confused. So this is what it looks like on a mobile phone. Oh, there's the book now. I don't know. Maybe you guys saw it. I totally missed it. I just went to the logo first and then I went down. I'm like, how do I book? So I'm not crazy about this scheduler. And he might not be able to change it, but I'm not crazy about it. So, and it's light blue. That doesn't really attract my eye. This should be orange or red. I don't know if you can change it, but that would be great. Or just have a big button right here. So just my opinion. All right, so let's move on. What time is it? Oh my gosh. Okay, no questions. You guys must still be sleeping. Anyway, be sure to ask me questions on the replay. Happy to help. Conditions. Let's look at this. Okay. So I'm assuming these are conditions that he treats, which should be in his about, and probably should be right next to the homepage. Okay, conditions. You got swell. See, this is what I was talking about. He's asking, you got swelling. We can help you with decreased swell. This is perfect. Love this. Love this. Love this. Whiplash. This is perfect. See, he's got pictures, burns, surgeries, yep. And then, what would be even better is having a testimonial under each one of these, specific to what his condition that he treats. It'd be even much better. Or actually, he already has it, does it? Yeah, he does. Hold on. Nope. So here's what I've discovered is that this is kind of his services page, but not. It's not really his services page, but these are the things that he can help you with. So that I kind of call them services. So he will help you with your whiplash. That should be a whole separate page. Separate page because you want Google to rank you for people searching for whiplash. Now, if you have contusions, burns, all of these in here, Google's going to get confused and go, well, we're looking for whiplash, but you've also got contusions and burns, and so they're not going to serve that result up when people are searching. So you want to have every condition that you treat or every service that you provide have its own dedicated page. And then once you have a dedicated page, you can optimize it for keywords that people are searching for. You can add video, you can add images, you can add statistics, you can add testimonials, you can make it very robust, okay? So here, all he's done is he's kind of just tagged them, so it takes you directly to that paragraph. See how that works? Yeah, that's not best practices. However, he's doing a great job of highlighting what he helps. Like, I didn't know that he could help after dental surgery. I want to talk to him about that. That's amazing. Okay, and then adding video here would be even more amazing, and adding testimonials. Okay, moving on. How it works. I have no idea without going to the drop down what that means. Even when I go to the drop down, I'm guessing he's talking about how the lymphatic system works. So maybe what I would suggest is just saying lymphatic system right there, because the next one says contradictions. I'm guessing this should say contradictions, perhaps, about the lymphatic system. So this is just one page, I'm guessing. So let's take a look. Let's see. Okay, this is okay. We need to get some images in here, some maybe statistics, some explanation videos. There's a lot we could do to improve this, because I don't think anyone's going to read this wall of text unless they're really interested in this. Okay, so let's see. So these can be graphically more appealing. I mean, I love that you've called out these statistics right here. Again, we don't need this picture, okay? News. I think my impression of this is last summer while series I was introduced to an education organ. Okay. What I would suggest is maybe turning these into blog articles where you're talking about this book or this study, or instead of saying news. This for me is not necessarily news. And the first one says early in 2012. So already I feel like it's outdated. Let's go to your blog. Okay. I want to point out one thing though, that you're doing well. No, there's more than one thing. Let me rephrase that. So if you look up here in the browser bar, you don't have blog / 2016 / you don't have the date. If you guys have the date in your blog title, you need to reformat that, because Google is going to look at it and not serve it up in the search results, because it's considered an old article. This way, if you get rid of the date, it becomes evergreen, meaning it never goes out of style. All right, quick tip. Now, I noticed here that the latest blog is 2016. I would either blog more, or I would remove this date completely, because it's just, you know what it does is in your potential patient's mind, it feels like you're not current. You're not staying current with your practice. So I would get rid of that. Even though I know you're staying current, this date just kind of subconsciously tells me that you're not staying up on your practice. Okay, again, with blog posts, you want to add images, video, statistics, infographics, calls to action. This is just a wall of text, and then this is just a waste of space over here. So this is the featured image. Another quick tip is if you want people to share your blog post, I would add the title right here of what the article is about. So when you pin it, it'll have the article here. So when people see the article on Pinterest, they know exactly what the article is about. It's not necessarily Happy Father's Day, but it's, you know, what's the point of the story, okay? So that's blog. I don't see any way to share this. So you want to have a share button to share it on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, wherever you want it to be shared, so people can share the love. And okay, healthcare community. I believe that this is your referral page. Yeah, so let's call it referrals. Contact. I noticed this in the footer, and I noticed this here. Best practices are not to put your email address, because spam bots are going to go out and spam you. And it's also a security, excuse me, security risk on your website. So you want to get rid of that. Keep the contact form. That's great. and get rid of Pete at acuteinjurycare.com down here as well. Okay. Let's see here. Map, that's fine. Everything else looks, if you don't have a fax, get rid of it. Get rid of that fax. I don't know anyone who faxes anymore, although I've been told in the medical profession that a lot of people still fax, so that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the home and I'm gonna wrap this up. Overall impressions. One thing I did forget to say is that when I come here, the logo's great, Acute Injury Care. I mean, that says it all, right? Everything's great about that. But there's no, and then the next thing I read is that doesn't, I would pull those conditions and bullet them right here and say, I will help you with these things. Or I specialize in these 3 things, right? Immediately pull me in and let me know that I'm in the right place. So that's what I would change. And then having the testimonial up here is fine, but then you've got this continue reading. Continue reading what? I don't understand. Oh, continue reading the testimonials. Yeah, that doesn't work. So get rid of that. Get rid of this picture or replace it with something that's has to do with the home page. Maybe an infographic or mini GIF or something. And then what was the other thing I wanted to share with you? Nope, that's it. So, I mean, overall, style-wise, it looks like kind of a template, which is fine. I mean, you know, you're at different levels of your business. You know, when you maybe add some more therapists to your practice or you want to invest some more money and time into your website, I would highly recommend a custom design. Because we do custom design. So that's what I recommend. And it just looks more appealing than a template. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys like the Smackdown. I've been looking at the screen. I apologize. I haven't been looking at you guys, but I love doing this and I would love to take a look at your website. I promise to be kind. I promise to bring attention to opportunities that you might be losing. And it's amazing. Most of these things you can do. I don't need to do. You don't need my help. But if you do need my help, feel free to reach out, fingerprintmarketing.com, and I would be happy to jump on a free call with you and we can strategize and talk about how you can get more patients, more clients, more guests, more customers. So if you like this video, feel free to share it or invite someone for the next one next week. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, you guys. Bye.